So today we're going to be watching Risch's EXE4 Blue Moon War from like a month or two ago. Risch is with us. He's the only one who's watched the run because it's his run. So this is going to be a surprise for the rest of us. We're just going to kind of talk about it. I know a decent amount about BN4 and so does Chaotic. And we kind of have Tara here along for the ride.
Yeah. So, hello and welcome to another TeamBN stream. That's what Erothaur meant to say at the very start.
They know where they are.
Yeah, so we're continuing the world record analysis series. We're skipping 3 for a second because we got some forerunners here. And we're gonna, take a look at EXE4, which we'll talk about why it's the Japanese version after it gets going. So we also have Chaotic. You want to introduce yourself and talk about your history with BN4?
Hi, I'm Chaotic. I've been running this god-awful game for like 5 years. It's my first speed game because Tara and Fat Kid tricked me into getting Blue Moon World Record back in the day. I hate them.
Shoutouts to Punch Rocks. We also have Risch here. Risch will be making an appearance as the person who made the video and also doing commentary.
Yes, hello. As Erothaur and Tara have mentioned, this is my current personal best for BN4. I got this about a month ago. It was a really good run. I learned a lot, basically just from watching Erothaur's Set Seed PB. For those that aren't aware, Set Seed is a category that starts from a save file that you already have the tournament seeds lined up as you expect them to. Whereas in the any percent category, you have to do a manipulation to get those seeds. So I was watching Erothaur's run a lot in order to figure out the best way to handle certain fights. So shoutouts to him. And this run was overall pretty good and interested to see what others think of it.
Yeah, and so set seed's a category that we use. It's mostly for practice and racing, but there is a leaderboard for it. Risch's run was pure any percent, so he had to do a frame perfect manipulation at the start to get his tournaments. And this is kind of the main speedrun category still, I would say, but not many people have done it with the manip, so.
Yeah. The difference between getting random tournaments and being able to predict exactly the correct tournaments and the fastest ones is pretty significant.
Could range from several minutes to almost an hour, yeah.
Yep. We can talk more about the precise tournaments once we actually get to that point of the game, but as you mentioned, it is a frame perfect trick that has an audio cue associated with it, which you won't hear. The game audio will be muted, unfortunately. But similar to BN2, it is an audio cue that you have to hit at the start of the game, and basically for the first while, you don't have any confirmation until you actually get to the point that you would see the results. So in BN2, that was like an hour in or something. But in this one, it'll be 20 minutes in. We find out exactly what tournaments we got.
So I think that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and get started with the video and the timer. There's an extra time in here because if anything comes up we want to talk about, we'll pause the video. And otherwise...
And don't freak out, I have cursor enabled, because we know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's only mostly on fire. We're okay.
It's expected in case we want to point out anything specifically on screen.
Yep.
Cool. So let's see. Chaotic, would you care to do the countdown?
Alright, regular countdown or Jameek countdown?
I mean, either is good with me, honestly.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
And that pause on the title screen was Risch listening for a specific audio cue to get the frame, because you'll also notice he didn't have a save file to do this setup. The Battle Network series has an interesting history with random number generators and trying to balance it and make it not abusable. And starting with 4, they actually save your RNG value to the file. So in order to do the specific setup, you have to not have a save file, so RNG starts at the very beginning, and then you know the order of the values, and then you have to hit a specific frame. So it's like 2 parts. And he did.
Well,
sorry?
I don't know that I hit the trick yet. At this point, I basically have a general understanding of what the game sounds like when I'm supposed to be hitting the frame, and so I can sometimes just reset if I'm like, nope, I know that was too early, or no, I know that was too late. But most of the time, I have to kind of just be like, that sounds right. Let's go with it.
Yeah, and so more or less, I'd say you have it down to maybe it'll be within 1 frame probably if you're keeping an attempt.
Yeah, usually I hit the 3-frame window very consistently. So, but yes, this is a VOD with commentary. It is unfortunate mostly because otherwise you would hear me twice, and you would hear some of the dumb stuff I'm saying about my run as I'm doing it, rather than in post.
Yeah, if you want live VOD Risch, you'll have to go watch it. You skip the BN4 remixes. It's actually on shuffle, but I can't.
Don't worry, chat. I'm currently looking for Shaq. Don't worry.
One of the interesting things about BN4 is the fact that in the EXE version, there's a specific glitch we can do. However, before we get to that, there is one specific fight that I want to get.
We need to pick up a guard A for later on for the foot bomb scenario.
I actually skipped the encounter in ACDC 1. Okay.
Yeah, this is a nice
And
but
ACDC
also somewhat unfortunate side effect of needing to get this encounter. It's faster to not reset your step counter, which we'll be seeing a lot of later. But the step counter thing is the one that's particular to the Japanese version. You can actually still do the manipulation for the tournaments on English, but the route changes a little and there's a lot more RNG.
Yeah, so in this game, unlike BN6, for example, if you're familiar with that one, getting counter hits does not actually increase your rank, even though this game introduced the concept of counter hits. So basically, I'm just praying at this point. I think this is a 7 rank. And I still got the A-coded guard. I forget if that's guaranteed at 7 or if I need an 8.
If it's the same as 6, then no, I don't think you can even get that 7 and 6.
Yeah, I forget because BN5 is like slightly different.
Yeah.
But I've been playing a lot of BN5.
You said why we needed guard A, right?
It's for the foot bomb scenario, yeah. It's required, but it's also very useful early in the run.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be regging it, in fact.
Yep. And so this is the classic talk to everyone in the area to start the game. So you didn't get to see it on the first internet trip, but we can kind of talk a little bit about it. We've talked or kind of alluded to the EXE specific glitch, which is that when you open a sub menu, so for example, your chip folder or sub chip menu or Navi custom menu or save menu or any of them, when you open it up and then go back, the game actually does a map change, technically speaking, which resets your step counter back to 0 because they didn't treat it differently from any other map change. And so because of this, you can open your menu at specific times in order to reset your step counter and never get any random encounters. And it's one of the reasons why I actually really like BN4 as a speedrun.
Risch likes to complain about RNG.
This is correct. I like to get lucky, but I also like to complain about RNG.
It's since we don't really get random encounters and we fix the tournaments, you'd think that BN4 has pretty little RNG, but it actually ends up being pretty extreme still as far as RNG goes. You can gain or lose a lot of time depending on chip draws later. And especially early game, you're mostly reliant on getting Life Sword to save the most of your time. Plus bats are a nightmare, which we'll get into soon.
Yeah, there's a few scenarios that are really RNG dependent. One minor optimization that I like to do, if possible, based on the way that the step counter works out. You won't always notice it, but if you're at all familiar with how BN movement works, every time that you turn, so you try to move in a different direction than you are already currently moving, the game takes one additional frame where you actually don't move in order to change your sprite to the new moving animation. So because of this, turning is actually bad. However, it's the same thing when you start up movement. So when you open and close the menu, it actually stops Mega Man's movement, and there's 1 frame of startup delay. So if you stop at the same time that you would have to turn, you can save 1 frame every single time. So I try to do that as much as possible based on the routing of the step counter resets.
We try really hard to save every single frame, so that way when we don't cut a corner right and get stuck, it kind of balances out.
Mm-hmm.
Corners are the true final boss.
So pretty soon here we're going to have the first fixed fight coming up, and it's going to be a normal Navi. The optimal draw for this fight is just 2 swords. You need a counter hit to make that work, but otherwise you can do 3 swords, or most things, if you can get the counter hit, are pretty reasonable. 2 swords is about the only way to 1-gauge the fight. But...
yeah, 2 swords is easily the best draw. We were watching a little bit of this earlier while we were setting up, and I remembered what my draw was in this, and it's a very interesting way to handle this fight.
I would, you wouldn't see me doing this fight.
It's cheating.
Look at this.
Cheating.
Normal Navis are fairly random.
They
And,
move
like, where they
4
move.
times, and then on the 4th movement, if you are in their row, they will try to attack you. After that, it's every 2 movements, which is why you saw me throw the mini bomb there, and actually got a counter hit.
Risch drew 3 mini bombs
Wow.
and still managed to get the fast fight. It wasn't sub-custom gauge, but this was the best you can hope for without getting 2 swords and a counter hit.
So I can still report this for cheating, right?
Depends on your definition.
The
of
timing
cheating.
actually works out really well for him to be 1 movement away, because you
Mm.
know
Oh, yeah.
like when he's going to attack. The only random part is like
Where he ends.
where he is, and you have enough time to react and still counter him.
Yeah, normally if it's like a cannon, it's really easy, but mini bombs are harder because you have to be on a very specific panel. It's not just in his row to attack him. So
This is actually going to be a bit of an interesting part. Less so this comp, but the next one for sure. The first Erothaur comp has 3 different bat patterns, and Risch got the bad one here.
yes.
Did you actually route a way to do this?
No, I haven't not figured out a way to do this. I basically just
Okay.
get mad. I get mad and
You kept it though. I was surprised.
yeah.
So there are 2 where that movement pattern will get you all 3 in 1 cycle, and I guess he just knows how to get 2 cycle on this one.
This is the worst part of my entire run right now.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, because this
because-
bat's going to be in a random spot.
Yeah, so I prayed that it was going to be on the left side, and I was going to use that time to grab a 700 Zenny BMD as well. However, I got unlucky, and so because I'd saved after the bat had spawned, the bat was already on the map, so I just had to go find
Yeah.
exactly where it was. But it's unfortunate that I didn't get the 3-bat cycle, one
It
of the
was
2.
50-50 to be on the left, right? Are there only
Yes.
4 spawn positions?
I think so. It's very unfortunate.
Shack has been found.
So this comp has 4 bats, and there are also 4 patterns the bats can be in. You can react to all of them and get at least 3. There's 1 pattern where you can get all 4. We'll see which Risch gets. This is a 3-bat pattern.
Yep. It's probably my least favorite 3-bat pattern. It feels a little tight sometimes to get all 3.
It is,
But-
yeah.
And now I basically just have to pray on getting the last bat.
Yeah.
It's going to be douchebat, isn't it?
So the reason we save before or after the sonar is the difference of locking in the bat's position or not. Since Risch saved after the sonar here, this bat will always be in the same spot whenever he reloads, and he can check the whole comp.
Found him.
And then this longsword S is really important for early game.
Yeah. As we mentioned earlier, Life Sword will be key for the early game. So coming up is the Shademan fight. There is an interesting way to handle this fight because basically, if you remember BN4, you fight him and he's practically undamageable. You just have to hit him and he will like turn into shadows. But basically, he will never move into your row, as a lot of BN bosses do. So by buffering my movement like into a certain direction, he also will try to avoid being in the previous row that he was in after you've hit him. He can actually sometimes move into your row after you've hit him. It's really weird, but by basically hitting one buster shot and then moving back down and doing another buster shot, you can basically do it before he starts going into some random movement pattern.
Yeah, he actually picks the tile he's going to a little bit before he appears. So if you move at a certain time, you could move into his row by accident.
Yep.
It's that fight was really weird to test.
But yeah, so that was like the first split of the game was through Shademan, and I believe it is basically the worst part of my run because it had really bad bat patterns. It's easily the biggest improvement point is to basically get better RNG there at this point.
Yeah, I mean, what, 75% of the time you're going to have a pattern that's about that for second comp, but 66% of the time your first comp's going to be a lot better, so.
Yeah. And the perfect bat patterns of like 3 bats into the 4 bat pattern is really big time save. Like,
oh yeah.
Looking at the splits, it looks like I lost 50 seconds to Erothaur's PB, which is what I was comparing against at this point.
I think my PB had really good bats.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you had the perfect bat pattern. So.
I was doing set seed though, so I was resetting for good bat patterns.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what I'm regging. And then, as you might know, from previous speedruns, you basically want to keep the top... The slots 2 through 5 are the most likely to be drawn due to a sort of bugged folder shuffling algorithm. Also, before I get into that, I actually used the 2 menuing sections here to do 2 things that I need to. One is to do that folder edit, so that's when I reset my step counter. And then the second one is I need to read 2 emails to get some P codes. So the second step counter reset, I choose to read an email as well. Little minor optimizations like that, trying to save as much time as possible.
So this fight, he's going to be setting up a random synchro. It's completely random. We don't know how it works, but it seems to happen every time we use reflect there. So
yep,
that's nice. We'll see. The optimal for this fight is one of them comes to the front and you counter hit him. That's not what happened, but that was a good fight nonetheless.
You really are cheating in this run.
Luckily, this fight is actually really consistent. Like,
yeah, if you picked up full synchro from the last fight, you would get this one for free. Plus 10 is actually pretty good too, because it just leaves the Metar with 1 buster.
Yep. An air shot is also a good draw there because you can use that to finish off the Metar and then buster the boomer down. It's honestly not that bad if you don't have full synchro from the spiky fight, but
Should probably mention Zenny is also a bit of a thing in this run.
Yeah.
Blue Moon's not too bad because we get most of the Zenny we need just for free. But we do need a little bit of random Zenny. You haven't been picking up GMDs so far, so I'm assuming you get it from Park Area 3? Are you at least planning to?
I just haven't seen any that were in good spots. I would pick up GMDs in town area normally, but obviously I'm not going to go super out of my way for them.
Town area can give you a couple other nice things like Invis, which just helps your folder flow.
I don't even bother
It's
improving my
code.
folder. I keep my folder edits as consistent as possible.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that you're still just preying on life sort and then later basically not even worried about your folder at all, I see no reason to worry about chips that you got from random sources. The only exception technically being Guard 1A, but that's because it's story required. We're getting it no matter what anyway.
Yeah, you'll always have it anyway, so.
It's fine. Just get Guard 1 star from Town Area 1.
You only do 2 folder edits?
Yep.
Okay.
I do that folder edit previously, and then one after lotto codes.
So in BN6, it's actually slightly faster to open the folder, and that map change gets rid of those cubes, and you don't have to watch the animation. But in BN4, the animation, one of those animations is a different length, so it's actually slightly slower to open the folder to do it. If you need to read an email or something, it could still be worth, but you can also just do that at, like you open the folder a lot in this game. So.
Yeah. For example, I know Park Area, you have a time where you open the Castillo P code later, and you have to do some menuing sections there because it's right after lotto codes. However, you also have to open your menu several times afterwards anyway, so like it's basically just opening your menu an extra time, which isn't really worthwhile. That GMD I should have grabbed.
You save the time. It's like the time the cube animation is versus the time it takes to open the menu, right?
Yeah.
We haven't timed it, so I don't know which is better.
Yeah. Do I just have enough Zen? I'm confused now. That was a GMD I would have picked up.
You do need exceptionally little Zen from
Yeah.
random sources.
I know I picked up the 700 in...
I always pick up GMD early, but it's probably best to wait and see what happens in Park 3.
True.
Because there's that one GMD, and there's actually a GMD in Netopia, or Nefrica, that I think is always Zenny as well. It's the one like on the way to the Undernet, past where you talk to the foot bomb guy.
This fight, I forgot how exceptionally bad copy damage is in this game compared to
really
later games.
I mean, this was pretty good though.
No, it wasn't. This was not a bad fight at all. I managed to get both spikies with the guard.
Look, he even came to the front before using the area grab. Sub area grab, sick.
That was pretty good. It was definitely a very good fight.
Yeah. Sometimes
Overall.
you get wide sword and they just all come to the front, and it's beautiful.
So that was the last of the Den prelims. So now is when I'm sitting here like, all right, did I hit the frame? I'm like sitting here praying.
This is when we get to find
perfect
out.
frame.
The first time you see the tournament board is when you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
So do you just have it memorized, or do you have like an image open on the side?
I have it memorized, and it's all based on one thing because I've looked at the tournament boards enough to know that seeing Sparkman in a specific spot is enough to say.
Gotcha.
It's like, because of the frames that are around the tournament board. So yeah, you see Sparkman in slot 4. Yeah. You see Sparkman in the 4th slot, and based on the frames around the Manip one, that there's no way that couldn't be the frame.
Looks like you actually gold at the split too.
Yes. Yeah, that was a really good split for sure. Because the force fights went well overall. Like, there was still some improvement that could be made, but it's very minor, and still, it would be like incredible RNG to get those. And
Yeah,
this
I'd be
split
quite happy with that any day.
now this split is just going to be a ton of force fights, just 4 of them, back to back. And so now that we're in the tournament setting, we can talk a bit about why we're manipulating some of these tournament scenarios. For the Den tournament, we're looking for Ponta. Then Aquaman is forced in Blue Moon. Same with Gutsman in Red Sun. And then we're looking for Sparkman. So the reason that Ponta is faster here is because the alternative would be Tetsu. Every tournament, you either get a generic Navi, so normal, or heal Navi, a Soul Navi, which would be, in this case, say Aquaman or Numberman, I guess, would be the alternative if it weren't forced on the first playthrough. And then you get a non-generic Navi that isn't a Soul Navi. So in this tournament, it would be Topman versus Sparkman. So you have to compare, in this case, Ponta versus Tetsu, and I actually forgot, there's Zenny here that you want to grab during the Ponta scenario.
There's actually 3,000 free Zenny here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want it.
That's half of the Zenny that we need for the whole game.
I guess I remembered that I needed Zenny. Because that's the only RNG Zenny I've gotten so far, was that 100, looking at my Zenny amount. But anyway, so for Ponta specifically, Ponta is 4 forced fights that you just have to run around the internet for. Tetsu is a bunch of walking around in the overworld for a bit, or the like real world, and then you have to do like, I don't know, 10 fights. So it's way longer to do Tetsu.
Yeah, Tetsu was like, you kill like 12 heal Navis.
Like the first batch is a heal Navi and a virus, and the second batch is just 3 heal Navis together.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
Was it was actually pretty slow. Go ahead.
Was it always believed that Tetsu was slower, or is it just punctuated by the fact that if you can avoid random encounters, this is way faster?
We didn't think the time difference was that big, but Tetsu was really random compared to Ponta.
Yeah.
But the time difference is actually bigger than I first thought as well.
Because I remember way back.
Oh, Risch, that GMD is always in.
Oh, today I learned.
That's why we do this, so we can all learn together.
These guys are really annoying. Swords are the best use against them, and you can clearly see I am a master of swords.
You're particularly interested in ending this one with a counter hit as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm playing in this particular way.
I think you've got a cannon or Vulcan or something on gauge. Yeah.
Yeah. So this should be a counter hit. I just need him to move one more time. Okay. So these guys have a slightly random pattern too, where sometimes they'll move 2 times an attack, and sometimes it's 3.
It's not random, actually. It depends on... it's like... Because they have to take turns when there's more than one. So their attacks will get backed up, and then they'll start attacking one jump too soon. For as many times until they catch up to where their pattern's supposed to be.
Oh hey, it's the fight I died in the US world record.
Yeah,
so I didn't get a counter hit there.
This fight's
that
awful.
Is actually really bad. You're getting fan pulled into... I should be using the crack out, but not really necessary at this point because the fight's basically
That's
over.
time you can't Buster Charge.
Oh,
Probably shouldn't have stepped into the shockwave though.
Yeah, no, that would have been smart.
Almost pulled the fat kid.
Yeah, my Ponta was not the greatest either. And like, it kind of shows...
It mostly comes down to the boss fight.
Yeah, our folder is just not very good at this point. We still basically have the starting folder. The only changes we've made is we added a Guard 1A, an Invis, and a Longsword S. And
the folder kind of never gets good in 4.
Yeah, it's like, I think those are the only 3, maybe there's a 4th chip I added. So it's like, you're praying for good draws, but your good draws are still pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
Dude, copy damage. Clearly valuable.
Did you Sort the folder for swords or what?
Yes, I sorted the folder to get attack to the top, and then I moved longsword to slot 2, with both wide swords also being in the top 5.
Oh wow, this Pontife's not. You just go for it too, hey? You just take the swords.
Yeah,
That's fair.
because
It's only
he doesn't
300
have
health.
enough HP for it to really matter. Like
Um,
he has 300, so if you get a counter hit on a sword into another attack,
Projectiles.
This ended up being an okay fight, despite.
yeah, I moved forward, which meant that the guard got a counter hit, which was really nice.
That fight's technically the same as the radio normal Navi, but he gets chips. So if he can get the wind box off, it becomes really annoying.
Yeah,
And he can
because
recover.
he can also restore HP. That's correct.
Oh yeah, yeah. We drops below half, I think, or is it 100?
I think it's below 100.
And now, I have to make this joke. I apologize in advance, but now is time for a casual stroll through Erothaur's hometown, Atlantis.
What are you apologizing for? It's mandatory to say that every run.
But yeah, the normal Navi fight, because it's 300 HP, you get 2 sword draws, and you get a counter hit into another sword. He's down to 60 HP.
Yep.
Like, waiting for life sword isn't really worthwhile, especially if you have multiple swords. It's more important to just be choosing as many chips as possible. And here we are, under the sea.
It's blub blub.
So,
Oh, dude, I can use it.
oh. Chaotic is a great new emote on Twitch.
Oh, dude, I forgot. We can use it later in the game too.
Yes,
Oh, heck yeah.
that sprite will actually show up. So this was the weirdest thing to me.
what is
when I
that?
was
Is that talk to dad inside of a? Oh, I thought it was a.
He's ready to throw people out the airlock, dude.
That's what I was about to
Stevie.
say.
So this was really weird to me, this part of the game, because this is the only time that we're going backwards through town area to ACDC. At least that I can remember. And so it was really weird figuring out the best places to use to reset our step counter. Because I was thinking about the positions that worked on the way. However, funnily enough, the way it works out is you can still use the same positions if you only had to reset your step counter once. In fact, even if you had to do it twice, it will still work out the same way. It's just weird going backwards, in my opinion.
So you've done it the same way I have, right? You have like positions memorized rather than
Yes,
oh I took
I have
X
exact
steps.
positions. I have exact positions memorized, and I think one of the key things that I did that hadn't really been done before. I think for the most part, Erothaur, you just kind of eyeballed it, if I had to guess, right?
Yeah.
I went around asking if anyone had memory addresses for the step counter, and figured out, not really figured out, basically I just wrote a Lua script that gave me exactly when I'm getting in counter checks. And so based on that, I found out the most optimal times to use these step counter resets. So I actually don't waste anything. Like I do the optimal number, usually the optimal position as well, unless I forget, which is totally possible. I think I definitely have messed it up. I've already messed it up.
It happens a lot, at least for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toy Robo is like the hardest one in my opinion.
Robo 4 for me, because I always think, oh, I'm gonna keep going a little bit further. Oh, cool, encounter.
Yeah. So this is the start of the great fights where it's just can I draw life sword? And I saw that I already had like a sword on the custom screen, and now I have sword wide sword. Now I'm just praying for long sword. which I only
There's
have one copy of.
a certain point in this fight, and it's probably the next time you have 3 swords on Gage, where you decide to just take the swords.
Yeah.
And that's when Longsword always shows up on the next turn.
Yep.
Yep.
I messed
Yep,
this up.
yep. He took them.
Yep.
If you can get the random synchro off too, it helps a lot. That's kind of why we cave and take the swords after a while.
Man, Aquaman's such an easy fight, right, Erothaur?
He's awful in 4. I hate him.
That fight. Oh man. The one of the interesting things, I actually used a mini bomb and got a counter hit, but it's basically all RNG. Aquaman will always try and move 2 panels away from you before he attacks. So if you stand in the back row, he has to stand in the front. And so based on like the cadence of where of when he moves, you can throw a mini bomb expecting him to attack, which is why I just kind of threw 2 of them. And you might get a counter hit if he chose to attack.
You kind of just throw the mini bombs and pray.
Yeah. Luckily, I hit one of them, got a counter hit. Would have been really nice if it weren't for the fact that I then got hit. But I got a random synchro anyway. Random. And now for Sparkman scenario. Sparkman versus Topman should be really obvious if you've ever seen both of these scenarios. But basically, there's a really, like... The way that the Sparkman scenario works is there are 5 total numbers that will be used to lock your PET. And so by putting in 2 codes, you can basically determine exactly what it is. So I think at first I put in 19, and then I think I put in like, 18. And so because I
Did that
was
say
told...
2?
Yes.
Cheater?
Yep.
That said 2.
It's
So-
actually cheating.
So yeah, if it tells you any information about like there's 1 or 2 digits that were right, you know exactly what the code is right there if you put in 18. Otherwise, you have to put in like 109 or something, and then you will have all the information necessary. There is a code Erothaur did find you could put in. It takes a while to put in. It takes a while to put in, such that I don't think it's faster compared to just praying for the good. Like,
Yeah,
put in
11811305.
Yeah. So that will tell you exactly like a different number for each code that is accessible. And now for Sparkman, the fight, again, it's just pray on the mini bombs. But this one is pray for Life Sword even harder because he has another 100 HP.
This fight in particular is the pray for life sword. You have a while to draw it though, because you need to do 200 damage to him anyway.
Yeah, but like mini bombs can't hit him most of the time, even when he's attacking.
Cannons can't hit him most of the time.
Cannons are hard to hit him with. Swords are honestly the best thing to hit him with, but you don't want to be wasting too many swords.
Oh wow, you got it.
Yeah.
If you get it before you do 200 damage to him, or right as you've done 200 damage to him, that's really good.
Yeah.
And then you got him to 80, so it's good. Hopefully you guys sword on Gage.
2 cannons, got a 3, but I got to pray to hit him.
Yeah.
Okay, 1.
Oh, that was
And
really good timing on that attack.
Yeah.
That was a good fight.
Yes. As you can tell from the fact that I
Saved
got
a minute and a half.
massive gold.
Alright. Sorry about that. Had to go get dinner. And cool.
So
goalie.
the rest of us can see
19.
Rich's splits, and welcome back, Chaotic.
I'm
He
glad
saved
I
a minute
just
and
get
a half on that split.
I'm glad
Compared
I
to
missed
my
the,
previous time,
this fight.
and I saved a full minute over Erothaur's PB in set seat.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I don't think my PB got life sword at all.
So I'm guessing he drew Life Sword on Sparkman?
yeah,
Okay.
drew it like turn 3 or 4 or something. It wasn't that bad. Wasn't like perfect, but obviously I hadn't even done 200 damage yet. But I could have done 200 damage if I'd drawn better chips other than mini bombs and guards.
I'm glad I missed it because I hate that fight.
It's so
That's
bad.
the worst fight in the game. We did do the BN5 one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
One that
VOD
lurked,
should
right?
be up on YouTube. You skipped the Zenny again, right?
Well, I didn't know that was guaranteed, Tiny, okay? So like I said,
That's fair.
learning process.
I'm gonna hurt you.
I would like to
hurts.
remind everyone, by the way, I've done 5 completed runs of BN4. This is my 5th completed run of BN4.
Wow, we get it. You're God. God.
BN4 is actually really easy to learn, all things
Oh
considered.
yeah.
Because of the strats that we use.
There's a decent amount of RNG, but it is a very easy run.
Yeah.
So, Erothaur, if I wanted to learn BN4, how could I do so?
Watch Where and do what they do.
Excuse
So
you.
this-
I have a very good BN4 tutorial.
I mean, this
That's true.
does give a good sense of like a tutorial. If like, I guess if you're already watching this, it's kind of hard to say, yeah, watch this, by the way. But like this does give a very good sense of what you should and shouldn't be doing, because we're talking about the things that are mistakes, but we're also talking about like why we're doing certain things as well.
Are there any notes, or is it mostly just like videos?
My notes are all just the Lotto codes.
I mean,
My notes are 8 lotto codes and the spark command codes.
I
You
used to have.
Can
notes
take
for
kind
it.
of as many or few Lotto codes as you want. You probably want both the HP 500s and you want Buster Pack, but other than that, it's like... what-
I messed this fight up significantly. You want to use the guard. Okay, I did actually manage to hit the guy. I didn't even notice. Yeah, so you want to use the guard to hit the Metzar and the Gaia. I think I even managed to hit the Binder virus as well. But this fight is kind of just annoying because that guy's just sitting in the back most of the time, and you're unable to hit him.
Alright, yeah, just check. The only thing I have like noteworthy for BN4 is the audio cue to get this
This is a good
tournament
part.
saved.
It's very urgent, so we're just gonna run away.
Yep. It's funny because you
it's a little
get a
faster to
note.
go to EIs.
Yeah, you get a note on your computer, and it's like expected that you immediately jack into the internet. But Yai's is faster, so. Because Yai's HP is already in ACDC 3? Question mark?
You might be thinking you could go to Joman and jack in there, but this is just the least walking you have to do.
Joman might be faster if you were getting random encounters.
Yeah, if you were on English, I think you got that GMD 3 times.
Oh
Don't
my
worry about
god,
it.
dude.
Don't worry about it, okay?
Worrying about it.
We
He's
all
just
know
gonna pick
how
up
this run
one in
ends.
part 3 instead.
Also, pressing A on the menu is hard when you start pressing A and then immediately start trying to mash B. You might notice that a few times where I open the menu and then immediately close it. That does not reset the step counter. You need to go into a sub menu. Oh, and now for everyone's favorite door.
Rage Duck.
Can you guys
I hate
tell
the
me
Navi.
what the password is? So this is another normal Navi, basically the same as the previous two. Oh, I was too early on the going for the counter hit. That's a lot of A codes. Was a little early.
My
on the
favorite
counter.
is when you get all swords, but you don't get the counter hit, so then you have to start tanking his bullets to try to pray
Yep.
he comes to the front.
Mhm,
'Cause the wind
mhm.
can't push you when you're invisible.
Fun fact, my notes actually do have this code, but it's not in the format you'd expect. It's actually the number of inputs that you have to press.
Mhm.
So it says something like, 5 up, 4 down, stuff like that.
What a legend.
I guess we're gonna see it. What's my Zen even at? No, it's still at 3,800.
Yep. We get is it
You're killing me, dude.
1200 we get from Toy Robo?
That
Oh,
sounds
I
right.
think it's.
It might be 13.
I want to say 14.
Is it 14?
I mean, we'll see. soon. TM.
I want to say you need 800 randoms any, but I forget. Price is Right rules.
I'm trying to get them to line up so I can hit
Yeah.
multiple. It worked out.
Yeah, you get 1400 from Toy Robo 1.
I drew and
Nice.
took wide sword here. Interesting.
So this is what, only 700 randoms any that you need?
900.
Yeah, area
That's what I
grab.
said.
Listen here.
Alright, missed a sword. Missed another sword. Yep, this is about right. This is about right.
Yeah, it's pretty usual.
This is Risch's audition video for TeamBN. Accepted.
I've already seen enough swords to accept it. Yeah, so if you get the one Park 3 spawn at all, I think it has at least 800 Zenny. So realistically, we probably should ignore most of the GMDs, but... Gotta buy the
Honestly,
chocolates, dude.
Yeah, you want to buy the chocolates later. It does save a number of text boxes, so. God, coming up soon. It's not really soon, but like kind of soon. Is the best Navi Coast edit I've ever seen. Oh, I love it so much.
The peak of battle number
This
speed.
this is a setup. This Navi Coast tutorial is a setup for the perfect Navi Coast.
I noticed
edit.
you didn't soft lock either, so that's good.
Yes, that is a very good.
Got
Good.
stuck on the kit though.
Yeah, it's a shame. So now we put in 7 or 8 lotto codes. I forget.
Do you do secret
think it's-
strats?
Secret strats.
Yeah.
I
You
don't actually-
accidentally talk to the chip traders. Go for it.
Oh no. What can you get from the chip trader?
Garbage.
The best thing is
Far
like
sword.
if you get a cannon C, you can do a faster points route that skips a battle.
Oh.
Like you end up just not having to jack in to the one
The
of the
ice cream?
comps at all. I think it's the ice cream one. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hey, look, Risch, more RNG for you to complain about. Oh, I didn't get a Cannon C this run.
I'm down.
No, it's fine. He's gonna go to the chip trader, get 2 bar swords right now.
Actually, I don't like that as much. I guess technically you can set up Dark Mega off of the one fight alone. But I actually normally use that last fight as the final one for setting up Dark Mega.
Yeah, you can take a random in park though,
You could, but then what's the point of skipping the encounter?
because I usually take the random in park anyway. I do like the last one on the gauntlet, then that one, and then a random in park.
I normally
hate
do
going
2 in
for-
the
You could
gauntlet.
also, if you wanted to still do that fight, you could skip going to the rock paper scissors minigame,
Mm,
which is
that could,
a bunch of walking and a jack.
yeah, that would be a lot of walking, a jack animation. So here's what I was talking about earlier. I don't, reset the cube animation. You get to this corner, you do a folder edit. You also need to do a Navicust edit. Soon TM.
Dude, I can't wait. So
This is
good.
the nicest.
Wait, what sword did you do there? That was reverse.
That was
Megabyte, yeah.
reverse megabyte, which puts all 4 of the chips we got from Lotto codes right to the top. I didn't do the Navicust edit. What am I doing? Did I make this mistake again?
You
Come
have
on.
like the whole. You have a while
I have-
to
yeah.
remember.
I have a while,
Yeah.
but god dang. But yeah, so you try and do these different menus at different times. And the reason that I do them is because I can hold a certain like input going into the menu, which will get me to the sub menu faster.
Risch, you're scaring me.
I always get here and I'm like, oh right, there's bubblers. I should just buster them. Did I make this mistake? Oh my god. I made
Yo,
that
congrats,
mistake.
Erothaur. Free PB. And
I
we're
made, I
This
made
isn't
the
that. Oh no, wait. He took the reflector out, didn't he?
Yeah.
If the reflector's still in, you can kind of just go to the front panel and then it hits them all for 50.
I mean,
You
can also-
got you got Airhawk. You're fine.
I don't know how geometry works from the back row. I only understand it from the front row.
It's the
I
same
can
pattern from the back middle as it is from the front middle.
I know.
So you can just
You can literally just press A from the back and get
Yeah.
the exact same one, but the Airhawk doesn't bounce as much on the enemy side. If
It'll
I
kill
understand
them.
it should, yes. I would believe it. I would believe you, 100%.
Ice.
Big shout outs to her text box was disappearing. You can't talk to her again after you get the ice cream.
Nope. I mean, you can talk to her again in Higsby's.
Yeah, you're right.
My headcanon for that NPC is that she went to jail for giving you free ice cream. And then she has to tell you the money hats code in BN6. She becomes like a net mafia boss or something. I don't know. Whatever she is in 6.
It's time, it's time, it's time, it's time.
Sick head cannon. And here we go. It's Toy Robo time.
We need like a sick Toy Robo remix that we can play this stuff.
Can we commission Cookie?
If you open Chaotic's tweet, it is a good meme, but it's very, very loud. So
Yeah.
turn your audio
It's a
down
shame I
first.
couldn't get. It's a shame I couldn't get the exact tweet because that's the one I used for Duo Mega, which now has a dead Twitch.
Yeah, this is
1400
1400 Zenny. So he only needs 800 random Zenny.
That, okay, I figured out the best Navi custom. There it is. You
Oh, you
press
finally
A
did it.
twice.
It's pretty important to have that in because if you don't get any good chips, you have to use the Buster.
So yeah, I don't know what made me remember. Normally, if I forget, I remember because of the bubbler fight. Or the shrimp
Yeah,
fight.
but you got
excuse me.
Erothaur, so
Yeah, so I don't know what made me remember.
someone yelled at you in chat, I bet.
Hey, Risch, did you know you can beat the game in under an hour with only Airhawk?
Yes, I'm well aware. Yeah, Toy Robo is honestly one of the more boring parts of the run. Did I make a mistake here? I remember I routed out these, okay, no. I remember I routed out the step counter resets like 100 different times because I kept forgetting like the best timing and then figured out like some slight optimization or
Some of the later comps are interesting because you get battles in the middle which reset your step counter. So you can
Yep.
go quite long without having to reset.
yeah, forced fights will reset your step counter too. So keeping that in mind, looks like I made a mistake.
Whoa, this game
Oh,
has
it's sheep
encounters?
as well. Sheep are really bad.
What?
Risch, what are you doing?
What am I doing? What is wrong with me?
I'm surprised you didn't try to YOLO run with that draw. If I see
I-
sheep and I don't have Gundel Soul, I just YOLO run.
I mean, I should have tried, but
The busters are really
So-
strong, so you can usually kill them in 1 gauge anyway.
yeah.
Oh, and now you try to YOLO Risch.
Don't worry about it.
This is world record, dude. We suck.
I mean, our total runs are pretty low, to be fair.
It's like a 25% chance run.
Oh yeah, it's not high.
I made some very interesting choices. Don't worry about it. It's like I said, there are a few places for optimization still.
Did you at least pick up the barrier from across the gap later?
No.
Oh,
That's a text box that loses time.
you gotta
You're
do
a-
it.
Like, you're such
Who
a
verified this
disappointment.
run?
Fat kid.
Of
Mm,
course.
Got words.
I checked earlier because I was like, Erothaur, did you verify my run, but you didn't watch it?
No, I haven't watched it yet. No. This is the first time.
I also learned from Chaotic doing a run around the same time as me, like playing this, that you can actually use Airhawk on those fights. I don't know why I thought you couldn't. I thought that the holes were lined up such that you couldn't use Airhawk, but I'm just dumb.
Dude, if I always have a chance to use Airhawk, I don't care if it misses. I'm gonna use it.
I mean, it's a fair assessment.
Sometimes it's better than dark chips if you draw it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The last like key fight in Utopia, it's better to use Erothaur 3 than Dark Chips.
Hmm.
As much Riva as you play, how can you not understand Airhawk?
Look.
It's a 3x3.
Yes, and I learned Airhawks strictly by using them from the front.
I mean,
I don't know why using it from the front didn't. Like, it just looked like it didn't work to
if you
me.
can use Diag Beam, Airhawk works the same way. It's just on smaller boards. It's even easier to memorize.
Yeah, but it's on a different sized board, which means the geometry is slightly different. And
It's not though. If you stand on the same or inverse tile, you'll still always hit them.
no, because it bounces differently. It like does some weird stuff in the enemy side of the field because it's not an odd number. For example, when you stand in the
Oh, it doesn't
no
come back
middle.
to your own field, yeah. So it's only for
Yeah,
the first
it-
pass. But
yeah.
you should know what pattern is going to be right.
Well, also like comparing to like having a middle is my point, right?
Because
Normally,
like you've got the X tiles where it'll go like back and forth to the corners, and then you've got
yeah,
top, bottom, left, right, where it'll circle.
yep. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's even better too because normally when you're playing Riva, you can remove the Diag Beam. There's really no point in keeping it over shield stuff. But-
I like it a lot until you fought Hazel.
Yeah, no, I love Diag Beam. I keep it.
I
the
try
whole
to
time.
get Crystal Claw to replace it if I can, because it applies fragile.
True, true.
Magic Claw? I don't remember what that spell's called.
Limit break and anything 0 cost. It's the strat.
Oh, they did the good movement too.
Yeah, but I wanted to react to it rather than like pray.
Nah, just go for it. At least one of them has to come forward. Because they
No,
can't
like
both
see,
move.
seeing it now, I understand that, but I hadn't seen enough usage of Varsword to
Gotcha.
like know at the time.
What does Varsword do in this one? Because it's clearly not as powerful.
So this one you can have access to a single slash, like a single sonic boom. There we go. That does not pierce. So unlike BN3s, I think does Tri-Slash pierce? No,
but
Tri-Slash does not
Elm-
pierce.
Elm doesn't either, does it?
No, none
of
Doesn't
them
have
pierce.
force, Doesn't
None of
have
them pierce.
flashing.
Yeah.
It's not until Neovari that they start piercing.
It's so
Um,
good.
But yeah, so it's a non-piercing sonic boom that only does 150 damage, which isn't that useful if you're only hitting one enemy. You have the ability to do a life sword, which is what you saw there. It's probably the most useful one, but it's still only 150 damage. Then you have access to like long sword, probably hero sword if I had to guess, type attacks.
Yeah.
And you can do wide sword as well.
Wide sword, yeah.
Wide sword. Life sword is a circle, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Down and
Um,
around.
Down and
Life sword and sonic boom are the only ones worth knowing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Left B, right B.
You'll get longsword a lot trying to do life sword though, if you're bad. at
Sonic
it.
Boom's impossible. Don't at me.
What? It's usually the best one as well because it still hits like a whole column.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only time that Sonic Boom is ever really worthwhile is if the enemy's in the back row.
Oh no, the fight we were just in, you can do sonic boom and it works exactly the same as life sword.
Yes, but well, I guess technically speaking, those enemies couldn't have moved to the front. Dang.
So
I tried
good
delaying
buster.
my air shot usage a little, or air hawk usage a little bit,
Hmm.
because those guys move in such a way that the hockey virus needs to move twice before it will get hit.
Yep. And then the spikies are just random, so don't worry about
Yeah.
them too much.
Yep.
They're not random, they're just different.
And so this is another instance of where the forced encounter resets your step counter. So you need to still reset your step counter twice, but because of how short the distance is, you can do it in a way that you save turn frames both times. Optimizations.
Not getting very many swag turnarounds on these
This is correct.
interactables.
It's almost like it's not faster.
Well, no, but you know, it's swag, and we like that.
I would like to point out that yesterday during the BN6 race, I got the swag talk to the guy in Greentown during the Moonstone scenario.
Why do you do this on NPCs? I hate this.
Because I'm a god.
I hate this.
Man, Risch, you're so good remembering the pattern of this.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude, I was kidding! I was kidding! Oh my
You
god!
had to say it. You had to say it on the one run where I messed it up.
Incredible time.
I was
Oh, that
trying
was
to
really
be
good.
tight on my movement when I can't see where I'm going. Okay?
It's okay. He'll make that back in turn frames. Don't worry.
That's why we save the turn frames.
Keep in mind, you need to save 60 turn frames in order to save 1 second.
Hmm. I think this is the comp I get randoms in the most.
Same.
Oh, I never get them in here. I have them really memorized. It's always like comp 1 or 2. I'll
I
mess
almost
up.
always get one on the next platform.
Yeah, I usually get it on my way to get the upcoming entry memory.
Yeah.
I have these figured out pretty well. Don't talk about that, actually. I was looking at the TeamBN stream, so I was a little delayed for a second on the movement where I literally just ran straight down left for a bit. I don't know what I was looking at. I don't know what I was looking at.
Don't talk about
You're
it.
probably talking.
I'll do it for
You're probably
you.
reading chat.
Thanks,
or something.
Risch.
It was RNG minute. Thank you, Smog.
Hey, Smog's here.
Oh, was that the Smog world record holder for BN1 single segment?
For now.
Is that
Is that a
Smog
threat?
the runner of Mega Man and Battle Network 1 any single segment?
Is that a threat, Tara?
I think Dallas is gonna come back eventually.
Imagine having world record anything BN1 related.
Yeah, well, the scariest part of single segment's gone now, except for all those other scary parts,
Door fight.
like
The door fight's fine.
Um,
Power plant
that
3
blackboard
and 4.
comp, all of the power plant.
Not just 3 and 4. Blackboard's pretty spooky.
According to Risch, Proto-Man,
That one internet area with the bomb guys in it.
Look, chaotic.
Oh yeah.
I
that
needed
4.
to remember how to play the game.
I think Flappy
holding
3.
B is hard. How do I beat man with sword?
Cue that clip of Mark Rowan being. I think I figured out his pattern.
One of the sad things about this routing is that you get a random encounter, or a forced encounter, excuse me, right before Shademan, but it doesn't save anything because like it's right before Shademan. So I still have to do this last step counter reset, even though it's so close to done.
I like the next fight if you draw Erothaur. It's my favorite.
I agree. It's a very good fight to draw Airhawk on. Dang.
Wow, this is like the least Mega Man remix on this playlist.
I didn't go for a counter hit. Can I get 2 charge shots off? Nope. Slow! Drawing air hockey, just move down to the bottom right and press A, and you win the fight. It's great.
So you need to get hit by Shademan 3 times in one custom gauge, and there's kind of tech to that. His one attack pierces invis, and you can get hit by the bats twice.
Risch, you didn't choose any chips. What are you doing?
Yeah, so this one you can't hit him. You have to...
This is good.
Wait, why didn't I move?
Should have stepped back
Yeah.
into that, but okay.
Missed a sword? Missed a sword?
Nice.
I just
Almost missed
YOLO.
a sword?
I just YOLO both the swords. I'm impressed.
I
With your
usually
patience.
YOLO the first one. And the second one, I'm like, crap, if I miss this, I have to wait a whole nother custom screen.
He's not gonna move
Please.
to the back twice in a row. It's fine.
Well, about that.
So you can actually do that fight without taking damage, but you have to
Wait,
you have to wait like 2 extra custom gauges.
Yeah. It's on the 3rd custom screen that you're forced given a dark chip. Which is just...
Oh, by the way, I hate that child.
What?
So,
Don't hate on Kilios, dude.
so this is kind of a detour that is very useful for the next scenario. For the first tournament scenario of the Hawk tournament, is it on the in Blue Moon?
It's one of them. Hawk or Eagle.
I'm leaning towards Eagle.
I think it's
I
Eagle
forget.
in blue. Yeah, but I'm not sure.
I honestly forget.
I haven't seen it in non-moon runes in a long time.
Correct. This is correct.
It probably says it in English on the tournament bracket now that I think about it.
Yeah, it probably would.
The Bird Up tourney. Thank you.
That's a good name. That's what I'm calling it from now on.
The Bird Tournament.
Bird up. Burb is the word.
Alright, we were wrong. Eagle's Red Sun.
That's what I thought, because I always remembered it being the Eagle tournament, and then I realized there was also a Hawk tournament.
I've played
So I
both
assume-
versions a lot.
Yeah, I've only played Red Sun as a kid. Learning the speedrun was my first time ever playing Blue Moon. It was great. I had to learn Aquaman, who is it in this one? Woodman, and Junkman in Moon Runes. It was fantastic.
Blue Moon was the version I played first.
By the way,
I owned both as a kid, so that was nice.
that heal Navi under the stairs is the only one of the route that we like pick up. Or there's 2 people that give points that I didn't know about in this particular route. That I didn't know about casually. And that heal Navi under the stairs in Town 1 is one of them.
There's one like where you get the invis in Town 2, and that one will give you 5 points for a cannon C, and that's
Yeah,
why
I knew
Cannon
about
C,
that one.
Can save time.
I knew about that one. Can't you technically buy a Cannon C somewhere?
Yeah, in Town 3 shop.
Can you?
Yeah, I always remember being able to buy something.
How
and
much
trading
is it?
An amount that we don't want to get.
It can't be more than like 4K.
It would also be weird routing wise.
2K?
I
what,
don't know.
What, we do that in Blue Moon and then we need the same Zenny as Red Sun, just needs anyway? Probably still less.
Depends how much time save you get from it, I guess.
Yeah.
Live routing on TeamBN stream.
It's like you could skip this whole sequence, or you could just like not fight the dude in the ice cream comp.
It is 2,000 Zenny.
Wouldn't be
That's
that
super
bad.
reasonable.
Wouldn't be that bad.
It's something you could keep in mind.
Yeah, the problem I foresee is the whole having to go there, because there's never a good time to go there that isn't like out of the way. The only time you're close to that shop is during this point scenario, and I think at that point you would have already wanted to get those points.
You could get it
You know what I mean?
on the way any trip to,
Park.
like
Or
anytime
through
you
Town
run
3.
past it in Town 3.
Yeah, you could. It's just like a small detour, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not like we get randoms, so.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where you could be like, well, I got, you know, a 1k BGMD at the start when I picked up.
I hate this fight. I hate going dark in this fight so much.
Yeah, so this is the start where we want to start going dark. Basically, the first fight, I normally will say, I drew something good, let's use it. The second fight is where I start taking intentional damage. Our health is really low, so that's a little scary.
Yeah, I just
Considering-
killed the first 2 fights right away. And I set Dark up with the last fight, and that way I don't need to end with a Dark Recov. And then I will use the one in the ice cream shop, and I'll usually go for a random on park area 2, I think. Because if you get the Airhawk guys, it's really fast.
And so what that does is that first fight reset my karma down to 480 because I used a dark chip. Now I'm also going to, again, basically, I'm going to get worried first and then open the custom screen. And now I actually want to die after using a... Oh wait, I guess I do that on the next fight. Okay, cool.
You want a
this,
what?
You have poison
This fight-
panels and low health. You should have went for it.
I could have done
You
that.
probably
I
forgot
probably
on
didn't
that.
think about. I probably didn't think too much about the
Yeah.
poison panels. But anyway, so this was the other guy, by the way, that I didn't know existed. That guy is well hidden.
He really is.
So this fight has a lot more viruses that deal damage on a consistent basis. At least it has a Metar. That's all that really matters to me. So my karma after using a dark chip while being tainted was down to 476. Now we're going to try to enter Dark Soul, which will lower my karma by another 10, which will put me to 466, which is below the threshold for being Dark Mega.
Technically, we do also have exactly enough to use. We have exactly enough HP to use Video Man as the last fight to go dark, but that's really dangerous because if you mess it up at all, you die.
Dark Mega, take the wheel!
Yep. So this now means that I am Dark Mega, and I'm not going to take any more fights before Video Man. So I am Dark for Video Man. We'll get Dark Chips from the beginning.
You have exactly enough HP to tank 3 tape spins on Video Man if you get all the HP.
Video
you
Man
need.
sucks.
Yeah, I don't recommend doing that on Video Man.
Yeah, it's...
If you accidentally get hit by anything else, you're done.
Yeah.
And now for the most boring scenario.
Man, Capcom makes this super complex game with all these combos, and this dude just speedruns it with dark chips. Lame.
Ah.
I had to go into your Discord to find that one too.
Oh, that's so good.
I remember when we first started routing this game, and a bunch of the people were like, yeah, we're just not going to use dark chips. I'm like, no. I'm going to use dark chips.
Dark chips are
They-
too good.
they're definitely
I never used a
faster.
single dark chip in any BN game until I started speedrunning BN4. Friendly
In 5,
reminder.
it was like almost up for debate, but I was still pretty firm that they were going to be faster.
Yeah, they're just too strong.
In 4, I was like, no, they are faster. No routing done yet. But there are old speedruns where people aren't using dark chips, just not for
Shoutouts
me.
to Sunset.
Sunset and Champion Beef as well.
So yeah, you just got to be really careful here that you don't step on one of those tiles.
Oh yeah, Lucky's got a point. High percent still, I think, mostly doesn't use dark chips.
Yeah, spamming Erothaur. Really good.
I'm still adamant it's going to be faster to do so at least part way in, if not for the first 1 or 2 playthroughs. Like third for sure, because you can't run from anything anyway.
And so this is why we set up the Dex shortcut earlier. There's also another shortcut that I'm supposed to have. It would require me to read an email, which I believe I read on the way back from this. There it is. So that gets us the Jomon banner.
Couldn't you just use dark chips, Lucky? Like your buster can break them, and then you just have to hit the right bet.
I look forward to
Oh, you do get
Erothaur's
Shademan
dual meta.
DS, you're right. Bug frag trader.
I don't want to grind for more bug frags, dude.
Pray to God that you get it from the bug frag trader.
Oh, I'm 20 hours in. Didn't get Shademan SP. Time to reset.
So that was the Video Man scenario. And now you'll see the first fight of just drawing dark chips. So Dark Spreader is okay at the start, but Dark Mini Bomb doesn't do enough damage to finish this off, so I'm gonna have to wait for more dark chips.
Yeah, dark mini bombs are really good for random encounters. But for bosses, you really want sword and spreader. Well, lance, depending on the boss. But...
Yeah, I normally like lance and sword, and then or lance and spreader. Either one's pretty good.
Dark
Yeah.
lance, dark sword will just kill like any boss, I think.
I can't wait for heal Navis.
It'll do 1,000 damage.
So here we are at the Metal Gear Solid scenario of BN4.
I love Boktai.
I assume I didn't mess this up. Did I do my stupid thing? I forget. It doesn't even save any cycles.
The thing, you go right behind the dude.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
like stand on top of him. Yeah, 'cause he's just standing there, and then you can go like. just
Oh, I
go
love this.
play,
by the way.
I love that.
play patty cake with them real quick, and then walk away. And now, at this point, you're still like basically there, but you can't get past this person. You have to wait until he starts moving,
Yeah,
and it lines
you can
up,
high
but
five
just-
that guy though. He doesn't mind.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I like a lot of these lines act as really good visual cues.
Yes. It almost seems like it's intentional, but you know there's no way it was intentional.
If you're fast enough, you can run it ahead of that guy, but you have to be
Ye-
really fast.
You have to be really precise. It's like I've done it before, and then I've not done it before, and I was very confused. So I just never risk it at this point. If you really wanted to go as fast as possible, you should totally just run. ahead of
It's
that guy.
time.
Oh yeah, we high five another guy.
Where are you planning to get the Zenny?
This is an excellent question, one that science may never answer. I don't know. Like, I don't remember what I was thinking right now.
Did you already get enough Zenny?
I don't think so.
We'll know the next time he pauses.
I'm gonna need to do some BN for you.
I definitely got enough Zenny. Or did I skip the chocolate? I probably skipped the chocolate.
Oh, you probably skipped the chocolate, but I mean, have you picked up any randoms any yet?
100.
He did
this
it.
one's nice.
Oh.
I was hoping that he was just gonna die to Lance.
You can just smash that. I don't think he has time to move.
Yeah, but I wanted him to just die to Lance. Because it doesn't Lance doesn't actually flinch him. It's the funny thing.
Yeah.
I actually
just
did this
pushes him.
late. I did this a tiny bit late. Normally you're supposed to do this right after Video Man. It doesn't really
doesn't
make
matter.
a difference, but
Technically, you could skip that in Japanese and it doesn't matter at all. It's just like a
Yeah.
little bit safer for duo.
yep. All the HP memories are basically just for safety. That's all it is.
I can't believe Risch is gonna crash this game.
Time for Woodman. Now, Woodman is one of the interesting parts of the game that I did a little bit of optimization for. I'm interested to see. Because Erothaur, what is your strategy for Woodman?
I pretend I'm Reinhardt in Overwatch and hold forward.
Okay. That's what I thought. I think you'll be interested to see how I handle Woodman.
Coward.
Some of them I time because if you hold forward into them, it works out that you will never get through.
Yep.
But yeah. I don't have it like routed. I know the pattern for each one and kind of play it by ear.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
I bet there's some kind of movement that you can do the same thing every time and make it through.
Yes. That is
I don't
exactly
know how
correct.
close to that you do.
I forget if I did it perfectly in this one. Oh wait, did I do this right? I did! I was looking at the TeamBN stream, so I was a little delayed, but
Well, technically you didn't need to use the sword, but
you're not wrong, but the guy could have blocked it, and I didn't want to risk that.
yeah, I definitely would have used the sword. If you
Stay
get
out.
Dark Spreader or Dark Bomb in any random, you're pretty happy.
Yep.
If you get Lance Dark Cannon, eh,
You're sad. Very sad. Okay. Now for the start of Woodman. So as Erothaur alluded to, with some very perfect, not perfect, it's actually very suboptimal movement. However, with some buffered movement, you just avoid every single wood tower.
Look at this coward.
yeah, this is some
Every-
BN1 shit I'm watching here.
Every single wood tower. Now, there
This
are
is
a
what
few...
I have always thought about routing, and then being like, it's way too much work. Am I doing that?
Now, there are some places where you will hit a wood tower and it's expected because, like, just the timing doesn't work out that
Yeah.
perfectly. Like here, I get hit once, twice, and then you're good.
Well, because
And
they
that's the
stay
rest of
up
the
for so long.
Yeah. And then here is like a slight delay, but you just time it very well, and because of where you are, you're perfectly fine. For
Yeah,
the
this
next
is really clean. I like this a lot.
And then
Definitely
here, just
stealing this.
immediately do horizontal movement, which is so bad, but then you get hit once, twice on the back.
Oh, that's clean. I like that.
Yep. And then this works out so nicely that you just go straight through. I loved routing this out. It was so good.
I always thought it was going to be too much work, so I just didn't.
So you just have someone else do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. Risch was going to play 4 eventually. I didn't have to do it.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't even crash the game.
Yeah, this was a very unfortunate Woodman draw.
I'm so sorry.
That's not that bad. Oh,
Eh,
well, that was pretty bad.
that was just bad on my part. Oh hey, look, there's the God combo. Too bad it doesn't matter at that point. But still, overall, not too bad. And now we get to see Chaotic Drip.
Already doing it.
This fight can be really scary because he can Dark Aquaman can use any chip you've ever used, including things like Dark Recove. So I'm basically praying for him to move to the back. He tried to Dark Lance me? Okay.
He just Lance comboed you.
Alright, I got him in the back. And he also has all of your Navi Cuss programs as well. So,
Well, no, he
the
doesn't
fact he
get
has
HP
poison-
plus programs.
yeah. The fact he has Undershirt in right now, because we have Undershirt in.
Yeah.
And because of that, the poison panels are actually really nice because he gets down to 1 HP and then just dies.
I think he'd get like super armor if we had that as well.
Yep. And now we begin the prelims for the Blue Moon tournament. As in, we get kidnapped.
And we're what, like 2/3 through the game about?
Yep. We're an hour 22 into the run.
There's
a
about a
2-hour
half
run.
hour left.
Yeah.
More like 3/4, I guess.
I did just skip the chocolate, yeah. I'm probably sitting here complaining like, why don't I have enough Zenny? What's wrong?
didn't
What did
pick up
what did I
any DM.
do?
You
I
pick
didn't
up
get
any
any
GMDs,
I didn't get any
literally
in the
zero.
way GMD spawns. Dude, what the heck?
Do you have this, like, it's as soon as it hits the sea, I think. Yeah. Yeah, you still need 750 Zenny. What's the plan here? You
I have no clue.
skipped a
what the plan
GMD
is.
that was guaranteed. You, like, touched a GMD that was guaranteed at least 800 and you didn't pick it up.
But it's time for my favorite part. Lan gets punched to the point where he gets knocked out.
Yep. I'm still curious what my mindset was here. I don't know what it was that made me skip all of these GMDs. Because watching this, I can see clearly that I'm just an idiot.
Yeah,
I mean, if you get the Zenny, you get the Zenny. It's just really annoying to watch.
I know. I don't know what I did. Did I just pray for a GMD?
I'm guessing you got really lucky in Utopia?
You picked up like one in Utopia, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, like that has to be it.
Or you pick up this one on the way back and get 800 or something.
No, I definitely never grabbed that one. That one I can say for sure.
Yeah, don't
Unless I just realized what my Zenny count was, and I was like, oh.
don't grab any Zenny in this area. No GMDs. This area sucks. You
I did do it!
Oh my
I'm a
god.
legend!
Yeah, because I did that same thing too, where I accidentally bought the chocolates, came here, and I got that exact amount of Zenny.
I never pick any up in this area, so I don't know if that one's always Zenny or what.
Yeah, so this fight kind of sucks because of the way that works out.
I
But,
swear every time I pick up Zenny in Utopia, it's a virus.
Yeah. But that fight kind of sucks because the middle panel you're stuck on is broken
Yeah.
or cracked. And so when you pick mini bomb, you're forced to move backwards, which will cause there to be a hole.
There's like one frame, I think, at the start of the fight where you can use it before you move.
Yep.
But that's not reliable at all.
One of the nice things that I learned through the Lewis script is you can actually basically run through each of these fights and never have to reset your step counter.
Airhawk time. Risch, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, this was definitely an Airhawk fight.
No, this is an Airhawk fight, 100%. But my brain does not comprehend non-dark chips at this point.
A lot of the time, I don't even look at the normal chips.
Yeah,
Like,
that
you
was
start
kind of
highlighted on the dark chips. I probably would have just taken the dark spreader and went.
Yeah, I just got into the habit of, oh hey, dark recov and dark stage, cool. What normal chips do I have?
Yep.
Yeah, I try to scan for Airhawk, but sometimes I forget.
Yeah, I think that's probably the same thing. But like, that's an improvement that can be made if you ever, any of you guys decide to run.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
Erothaur.
don't take Gundosol EX.
Yeah, Gundosol EX does not work if you're dark. It's actually just a useless chip at this point.
Don't say that. Doc might be listening.
I said at this point, it was very useful earlier.
The 2 times you drew it. You got it that one time in a random encounter you weren't supposed to fight, I think.
No. It was the random fight I wasn't supposed to get, but you were talking about how Gundosol would have worked on it because it was
Oh,
cheap.
right.
I drew like Var Sword and Twin Fang.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was bad.
Once again, you can actually get here, talk to this guy without having to reset your step counter.
That's the guy we need at the guard A for as well.
Dude, I can't
Yep.
wait to see your foot bombs.
Yeah, this is basically, like, we were talking about it, how, like, oh, you get to skip all random encounters, you manipulate for tournaments. But this is literally just RNG incarnate.
This is
Entire scenario.
your run is either alive, good, or dead.
Yeah. So, this will be interesting. I forget exactly how well my foot bomb went. I think it was decent. I assume, at least.
I'm gonna judge what directions you do stuff in. Oh, it's straight. Wrong.
Straight down the middle.
To be fair, I always shoot left, and he would have blocked it on the first one. So.
Left is always right.
Oh my god, I'm swapping back and forth between watching the Discord stream and the TeamBN stream, and I'm getting very confused as to what's going on right now. Okay, so I think I got blocked once so far, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
My strat would have been blocked twice so far. 3 times. All right, cool.
Erothaur would be complaining right now.
Man, my run would be dead.
Put a reset a while back.
And that would be a reset
4
from
times.
Erothaur.
Yeah, I probably would
That
have
would've been
rage
a
quit right
reset
there.
from Erothaur. And I got only blocked once.
I'm just gonna
See?
shoot the middle from
Cheating.
now on.
There we go. There we go.
Stealing the world record strats.
I mean, then again, usually when I'm doing foot bomb, I just check Twitter.
Yeah.
Just spam
press
A
A.
and like
You literally just spam it.
look
There's nothing
away,
else
read
to it.
chat.
There's literally nothing else to it. I watch the screen intently because I'm mad that I'm probably gonna get bad RNG.
Oh man, he's not gonna do the thing because he's a coward.
Small note, you get 1 encounter check if you are trying to enter Netfrika area.
See that BMD? You can pick that up from the path over here without actually going up to it.
Yes.
Hitbox is bugged out.
That is correct. I've seen it many times, I've never done it.
I show it off every time.
I started doing it now.
Yeah.
I totally do it in a non-PB attempt setting.
So the BMD we pick up in here is an expansion memory.
Mhm.
That'll be useful for when we re-edit the Navi cust to fix it. What's in it? It's a barrier. It's barrier 100. Completely useless. But you can, so you should.
Man,
I've
I'm
been
so
blocked
glad
once.
I started doing that expand memory thing.
Yeah. The picking up that BMD that way would also save like 2 seconds in a high percent run.
Time to go do
Potentially
again.
more. Potentially 6 seconds if you get it in all 3 playthroughs.
I got blocked all 3 times by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Just want to point that out. Okay, so I did get bad RNG.
Oh, this was awful.
Oh my god.
I would have
Yeah,
quit.
I got-
Yeah, run
I
back.
got-
No,
I'd be
I
out.
would reset.
I'd be
destroyed.
gone.
I
That
got,
timer would be gone.
got
Right,
destroyed.
see you guys tomorrow. Run over.
you would still be able to pick up the BMD on games 2 and 3, right? In the same exact way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could save up to like 6 seconds.
I can't believe I have to go PB and do all Mega again.
I know, right?
I will say the nice
3 times
thing
good.
about that failure right there is that it was all due to RNG, but one of the nice things about it is that it was a fast death where
On a
did it?
normal Navi? No way, dude.
Holy crap!
yeah, that was sick. I forgot that happened. I was wondering.
That just made up for that bad
Yeah.
foot bomb.
So you
Yep.
can do that too. I think all of the bosses. Not
Pretty much.
Woodman. But all
It's
the
like I
other
said,
bosses.
Yeah, it's like I said, the lance doesn't actually flinch enemies, so it doesn't cause them to not move for a bit. So if you time it right, they can still move back into it. It's really dumb.
It's great. I love it. Yeah, but I think the foot bomb thing wasn't that bad because you lost in 3 hits and he blocked your 3, so you didn't have to watch the explosion.
Yeah, it was like the fastest way you can lose at foot bomb there. And it was a loss on the faster one anyway, where you only need to hit him twice. And then I immediately hit him twice.
And then you hit him twice, yeah. So it wasn't that bad. Like on average, that's probably still fine.
Yeah, like it was acceptable. I was still
Yeah.
probably pissed.
Well, you lost 30
But-
seconds on your splits, so.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
with the swag kill with the
Yeah,
Okay.
it was not very good.
Yeah, so that battled green mystery data he picked up was a spin pink.
The blue mystery did it. The blue mystery did it.
Yeah,
And,
The blue mystery data, yeah.
the
in
tournament machine time.
The tournament machine.
yep. So
I
we picked
think we end up putting undershirt back into. I forget. Do we ever
nah.
get spin?
No,
white?
I
You
don't.
could grab Spin White. I think it's either in Yumland or in Sharo. You could put it back in.
I forget if I started doing that or not. I don't remember what comp it. Yeah, it's in the Yumland HP or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's in the opposite direction of where you get the Yumland code.
I think I started picking that up. I don't remember. It gives you 1 extra hit on duo.
One extra hit, as in you can survive one extra hit?
Yeah, because if it would kill you, it puts you to 1 instead.
Yeah. I mean, just don't die.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Duo hits hard.
could have also just hit that boomer with that.
I don't know why I didn't move forward or like wasn't patient. I don't know. But anyway, we waited till after the normal Navi fight because we want to do one full Navi cust edit. So we wanted to pick up the expand memory in the goddess comp or something, or hero comp, I think. And then we pick up the spin pink, as Erothaur mentioned, in the battle tournament.
And when in the meantime, we didn't use the buster anyway, so it's not like we lost time.
Yep. So now we have Buster Pack in, we have some extra HP in, and we have 1 attack plus 1 in, and I think a charge plus 1. So we have 5 charge, 5 attack. Still perfect Buster for our usage. And we are now actually have some HP to work with, which is really nice for duo.
Big shout outs to me just using that Navi custom casually and just going, yo,
Gonna need
you
some.
could get this in a run. I'm
Gonna
gonna
need
start
some
doing that now.
shout outs to the Japanese version that doesn't give you arrows like the English version.
I'm so glad you told me that before a run.
It's so bad. Luckily, you can do it strictly based on the positioning of the
Yeah.
sword. And if there's an exclamation point in the message, you know he's attacking.
It's also jagged instead of round.
Yeah.
That's like way bigger.
There's
you,
like so
you
much
can
more.
kinda
There's so
just
much
look
more
where his
text.
sword
Yeah.
is and tell. You can also memorize them, which I've done
Mm-hmm.
both. And they're like the same.
I've never had Kendo Man in a regular any percent JP run, and Erothaur just tells me, oh, hey, it's different.
I'm like,
Day
hey, by
before
the
I
way,
played Erothaur.
by the way, there's no arrows in English, and he's like, oh,
So yeah, I remember that first Kendo machine went really smoothly. I think the second one goes okay. The third one seems to like to attack a lot more frequently.
Yeah, they get more aggressive as you go, and you also need to hit them more, I think, or the timer gets lower or something.
The timer gets longer
Maybe
for
all
the
of the-
Sharo one. Yeah, the Sharo one gives you more time, but like he attacks way more frequently, so you usually end up with the same amount of time left on the timer anyway.
I loved when he hit me 8 times in a row.
Great.
He didn't block at all when I tasked it. There's this weird, really long, awkward cooldown where you can't attack him between attacks. So the task doesn't actually look that impressive. But he does never block, so that's cool, I guess.
We never attack.
He never calls block.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the most aggressive one. You see, we have 60 seconds instead of 50 seconds.
He's especially aggressive if you trigger the anti-cheat.
So we've gotten 3 attacks, 4 attacks. 5. 6. 7. It's honestly not that bad considering most of them haven't been in a
4 or 5
row.
blocks in a row before.
I was gonna say, to be fair, this one's actually not that bad. The fact that it's not that many in a row is super good.
Yeah, this is
I've had
going
way
super well.
worse.
You have 18 seconds on the clock left.
Yeah,
That's
like that was actually
unusually sub
really,
10.
Yeah, like that one was really nice. He was very kind there.
That BMD we saw on the screen there was a HP memory, but it's like just out of the way enough that we don't want to get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, there are probably some other ones that we should cut from the route as well, but like
Maybe the one in Toy Robo 4?
I would say both the ones in Toy Robo.
I cut
And-
that one. I cut the one of them in Toy Robo already.
Oh really?
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. It's the one in Toy Robo 2 or 3. I forget exactly.
I
It's-
think the
It's in
the really
2.
long one you go to the right
yeah, it's
before
that
the
one.
fork.
Yeah.
It's like you're going right to the first story piece.
It's kind of like how much HP do we normally get there with? How much damage does the attacks duo usually hits us with? Like what kind of decent multiple can we get to?
Yeah, it's basically
How much HP do we
how much
need?
HP are you normally left with when you fight duo? And that's really the only limiting factor.
Yep.
Because like you want to make sure that you're not dying to duo on a consistent basis. You don't want to get there and pray for perfect duo RNG because technically speaking, you can do that. You'll probably be miserable, but you can do that.
You will be miserable. There's no probably.
Don't ask
Risch
why I
had-
did this fight like this.
Why are you like
Anyway.
this?
Buster is really strong, doesn't matter.
I don't think he's completely whiffed on a dark chip draw yet, though, right? Like
You
he-
mean Dark Stage Darker Cub?
Did you get that yet?
I have not gotten that yet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think you've just had like a dead draw on your dark chips.
Yep, that is correct.
At least not before user error.
The worst one I think was like a Dark Stage Dark Cannon draw, I think, but that was like
Oh,
very
this one's
early on.
pretty close to a dead draw.
Yeah.
It worked out super well. though.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just press A. I don't know. What do you mean dead draw?
You just get lucky. Don't worry about it. Yo, big shout outs to the Oreo.
And there we go. That's all 4 fights. And now we get to go fight Kendo Man.
So like so far this has been no major mistakes and like pretty good RNG, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah. The biggest mistakes are like in-fight errors that probably mean I have
That's
to open
like
the custom
small
screen.
things. You've missed a
Yeah.
custom gauge here or there because of like missing a dark chip or whatever.
I need him to go to the back. Thank you. I was watching TeamBN stream again.
Your boss draws have been fantastic also. Except Woodman,
Yeah.
but that fight always sucks.
Yeah, Woodman is just the worst.
Well, you don't like whiffing Dark Sword because the log he summoned behind him blocked it for him?
You mean Dark
Yeah.
Lance?
Yeah, Dark Lance.
Yeah, so the
Great.
logs can eat the hitbox for Dark Lance.
It's great. So this is, like I mentioned earlier, that I actually haven't played Blue Moon ever on the English version, so I don't know the Junk Man scenario. So everything I do in this is pretty much strictly based on how Erothaur handles it.
Oh, so poorly.
So basically, if Erothaur made any mistakes, I make those mistakes every time.
I did end up starting to get spin wipe because on this trip I get the key, and then on the next time I just go the other way around.
Yeah.
I think.
So I think one of the mistakes that I learned at first from Erothaur is Erothaur immediately talks to the door here and then tries to talk to the Navi. So I thought that was like a requirement. I thought that was a requirement
don't
first. And then I watched Chaotic do a run, funnily enough, and saw he skip that. And then I figured out that this was you basically have to press the L button 3 times.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
To
answers
trigger
don't
enough
matter at all.
text.
You get different text if you get the
If you get the
grade
answers
question right.
So for that first one, if you were trying to get the answers right, it's 35, and Land replies with, yeah, don't tell
Don't
mom.
tell mom, right?
And now it's a bunch of force fights, but we're always confused. It's great. I
Yeah,
love it.
which you'd think wouldn't be a problem, but actually it's pretty annoying.
Yeah, especially considering a lot of these panels are typically broken or cracked at least. So certain things don't work.
Your chip
Luckily,
draws
my
are
draws-
really annoying me.
Yeah,
I
they're pretty
hate-
good.
I
They're
get
pretty-
here and I get like Dark Lance, Dark Stage every fight.
They're pretty good. I won't lie.
What?
They're pretty
What is
good.
this?
Can you not?
They're pretty good. I won't lie. Dark Spreader is actually a really good draw where all these panels are broken because
Dark
It means that
Spreader
you
is like
drop-
the best for all of these.
yeah, it hits everyone, and if you have to move, it actually drops a poison panel below you, so it doesn't break the panel.
Finally, justice. I bet they all just stand in front of it. Ha! You fool. You got the double hit, which is good, but you didn't wait to counter hit the guy.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. So, yeah,
Compared
it's
to
just
like
I-
getting Dark Bomb, Dark Stage, and Dark Lance, Dark Stage every draw, that one's still better. But you know,
yeah.
half those fights usually take me 2 gauges because the dark chips are just dead.
And that's the key thing though, is that this game is very you don't get random encounters. You get very specific scenarios from the tournaments, but it's still very RNG dependent because it's super draw dependent. Early on,
Yeah.
it's trying to draw Life Sword, which is incredibly like ridiculous RNG. And then later on, it's basically just praying for some good dark chips.
I
which...
think you'd be very surprised how much time good dark chip draws can save or lose.
Yep. Like Dark Lance on this fight is just incredible. Dark Sword is actually a dead draw without Dark Lance because he will never move forward. But
Oh,
Dark
and
Lance
cry.
alone will. Dark Lance alone will kill him. So
Dark Bomb's pretty miserable on bosses as well.
like that, you saw again with the double hit.
Yeah, you just need to get him as he moves, and then it does 1,000 damage.
Yep. And so that was the Blue Moon tournament. You can see, looking at my splits, you can't see it on the TeamBN stream. Apologize, but looks like I saved a fair amount of time on
You're
that
almost
split.
a minute ahead.
Yeah.
You're just casually 5 minutes ahead of your PB.
Yep.
That's how it go in BN4, dude.
Yo, it's my boy, Super Saiyan 3 Regal.
True. Ah, yes, we got a wonderful chip from our dad that will never go in the folder.
I bet you get a first turn life sword on the.
I'm gonna cry if he does.
No, okay. I will be honest. I'm not gonna like say, oh, well, I don't want to spoil anything. No, I did not draw it. I drew it on a practice run before this run. I was practicing duo and I just top decked life sword and I was like, oh. But no, in the run, that would be incredible.
Imagine.
Talk a bit more. Can talk a bit more about why that would be. You can probably imagine why that's really good, but you can talk about the duo fight once we get there.
Yeah, the duo fight's probably the most impressive part of the BM4 speedrun, at least as far as execution.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's the hard part as well, like the hard part.
It's the only real part where you can basically die after you get dark chips.
Yeah, once you get dark chips, you actually can't die. Like, you'd have to try really hard to die.
Yep.
You can just walk past her? What the
Yep. You have to get a new runner to learn little things like that, you know? Because they have to try stuff that you've never tried.
I swear I've tried it.
Big shout outs to this guy. Just giving you the code. No crap added.
Only if
Just
you say no to him. Don't say yes.
Also, very nice thing about this in over Red Sun. In Red Sun, you're practically guaranteed Cold Man if you get the perfect scenarios anyway. So you don't have to take a detour to avoid Cold Man. What, V2 EX? I don't know what they're called. That one's really nice with Dark Bomb.
That was big brain holding down there.
Yeah, you hold
I've
down
never
because
seen that before.
Yeah, you hold down because it avoids the movement bug that moves you back, and then the Metar moves down into it anyway, so that they all just die.
Yeah,
it's really
as
nice.
long as you're holding a direction, even if it's up or down, the movement bug will never move you.
Mm. Shoutouts to BN3 where I learned that because I got bug style
So I was like
intentionally in BN3 a
my
lot.
brain has always been like, I can't just move down. The Metar is at the top. So I've never tried that before.
Yep. I don't remember where I learned that from. Like I remember I saw it,
was
somewhere.
me.
And I was like, really nice thing. You don't need to reset your step counter before this one. This fight will reset your step counter as well. This fight with those guys can be annoying because if they jump too fast, the mini bomb won't hit in time, or it'll actually hit while they're in the air and they won't die. So you have to get a little maybe lucky, or you just have to get really good at timing once they've both jumped.
I think you can time it consistently, but it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I would agree. Another dark mini bomb, because we're not allowed to have bad RNG in this run.
I don't think you got a single bad draw except for like a couple boss draws.
Yeah. There's only one more forced fight in the entire rest of the run. So this is actually a small little mistake here. You're supposed to open your email in order to get the... so this was slightly suboptimal, having to reopen the menu here. I even read the wrong email too.
Yeah.
But you want to get the banner for the hotel banner, so that you can just go straight from here. I don't know what I opened the menu for there.
Checking the Zenny you don't need? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He was checking his HP, don't worry.
So it's just a quick shortcut over to Jomon. The shortcuts actually work out really nicely in BN4.
Yeah,
Very
they're
useful.
nice. Better than BN6 where you get every shortcut one scenario after you need it.
Yep. Nope.
Except for the sky. I don't know.
Oh, did I mess up? Okay, we're good.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say,
Took you a
did I
second,
mess
but
up
you're
the
alright.
movement?
Alright, time for a delightful stroll through the Undernet.
Shoutouts to the BN4 Undernet theme that you can't hear. It's really good.
Yeah, this is so disappointing to me because the you're so close to being able to get through this area without having to reset your step.
Yeah, you're like 4 tiles.
It's so close. This one you can.
Guys, okay.
This one you can. The other area you can't. The first area. It's so close.
Wait, you guys reset your step counter that?
In Undernet 1, yeah.
I've
Or
never
the
done
first Undernet area, whichever one it is.
You getting everywhere that I reset my step counter, it's because you actually do get encounter checks.
Dude, you had Airhawk.
Airhawk would be okay,
I
but it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't have
and
killed the
killed
front
everyone.
guy, but I think you had Airhawk and Varsword. Are they both V-code? I think they're both V-code.
I think they would be, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe. But I mean, that's. I guess Airhawk is just strictly faster.
Probably could have
because you
bustered
can-
him as well. Like faster
Yeah.
than the guy would open. I don't know.
Yep, perhaps.
It's a big shame we won't hear the second best song in this game.
Oh my god, this is also. Yeah. This is like 90% of the
The
reason
Meteor
I
concept's
enjoyed.
so good.
Yeah.
They're fun to play, and the music is just like the best track in the game.
Yep. The movement is very nice here too.
Big shout outs to this originally being a song in X4 for the beta.
There's
What's
a
it
HP memory in the far left there you can grab if you're not confident on duo. But
Yeah,
we
but
haven't
then I
done
would-
any math on like hits yet, so I don't know if it's actually helpful or not.
Yeah, but that would also ruin my wonderful HP amount right now.
It's 666.
It's fine. It's
You
gonna
have
get
that for
ruined in 2
one more
fights.
fight.
Yep. I was only 2 fights off being able to have it for duo.
I think my save states in SRC have it all the way to 666 even with Laserman.
I'm assuming you didn't get the thing at all.
Yeah, never. I don't think I did. I'm actually just watching myself on the webcam right now in the video.
Dude, you're
and,
bopping.
I'm literally just bopping to the music, dude.
My boy Schmoovin out here though.
This is literally my favorite part of the run because I'm just sitting
Wait,
here.
hold on. Let me get this
relaxed. I'm
song
like-
back on. This is a
literally
remix,
just-
but it's really good.
I'm just literally sitting here focused, but I'm also just like jamming out to the music. It's wonderful. There, started to reset my step counter and then realized I was doing it a tad early compared to my route. I think I should be
very
good for the
clean
rest of the
movement.
comp. Yeah. And there we go. And now we fight 3 bosses, and that's the run.
Laserman cheats.
Laserman is a really annoying fight. Oh.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can't crack the panel. That's
Yeah.
okay. He had a busterable amount of HP left after the chips. This is really good.
Yep, Dark Lance hits for 500, Dark Spreader hit for 400, so only 100 HP. Very nice.
Yep.
Dark Sage against him. Dark Sage actually is useless. No poison. Poison
He breaks
doesn't
you.
Yeah, poison like basically does enough damage to counteract the dark holes that you summoned that heal him. So.
All right, let's see how much of a bully he's gonna be today.
Or Dark Spreader
Easy.
actually doesn't cause flinching, so
I could have done that first, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So this is the duo fight.
yes. Oh no, I didn't take any chips.
Risch, what are you doing? You're throwing. You're throwing.
So
you're throwing.
it works out to be the fastest on average to not take any chips, and that's because opening the custom gauge is really slow. So like we'll take Life Sword, of course, if we see it on the first draw, but you would have to get it in, I don't know, 2 or 3 draws maybe to be able to like save time over not opening the gauge at all.
It might be. I think it's also slightly worth it because it saves numbers of charge shots if you get any of the good draws. For example, Twin Fang is okay. Bar Sword saves 3 charge shots.
If you get a few, like you can take good chips on the first draw, but you never want to open the gauge again.
Yeah. And so this attack that he does is really annoying because it cracks panels. Normally that's okay, but sometimes he can crack the panels that you need to stand on for like avoiding the laser.
You can see Risch is playing it kind of safe here too. It's like shooting some of the missiles when he has to.
Yep.
He knows he's far enough ahead that he can like take his time.
Yeah, it's also one of the things where you know that he's going to start moving, and that gives you enough time to start charging another shot. So sometimes it's just worth it because the missiles will be in your way and you can't actually hit.
And getting hit will stop your buster anyway, so...
Yeah.
Sometimes you do just have to eat it though, and you've seen him do it a few times.
Yeah. And there it is.
There we go.
Easy clap.
157.16.
Yes. That is the current BN4 world record. Funnily enough, faster than the set seed time. Set seed is basically the exact same route.
Yeah. So set seed's the same run, just you don't have to do the manip.
Yeah.
And anytime we race, pretty much, that's what we race. But,
yeah, so that we don't have to worry about, oh, you got, Proto Man, so you just lose the race.
Yeah.
See you in an hour.
So yeah, Buster only duo because we don't have access to dark chips. And yeah, that was basically the entire run.
Yep.
Overall, as I have said, there are 3 key things that went like pretty wrong overall in the run. It was the bats part. That one has a lot of RNG that can be improved. I think, was it Toy Robo I messed up a little bit?
Yeah, I got 1 encounter. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
There's 1 extra encounter in Toy Robo.
What else did I mess up? Oh yeah, I got some bad RNG on Foot Bomb. So overall, like, there's still time save at different points. The biggest time losses are obviously Foot Bomb and Bats, and then like just different fights here and there that I messed up. So those are like the biggest time saves, but overall, still a very good run.
Yeah, no, it was a really good run. The RNG kind of blew me away. It was really, really good.
Yes. Also that too cool. Something we talked about a lot throughout the run.
Yeah, there were a lot of opportunities for free Zenny. You probably could have saved a bunch of text boxes on the chocolates, but we'd have to time it really specifically to know if it was actually worth it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it really depends. You probably have to like think about where the spawns are, what the
I want to say if you could get enough in 2 GMDs, it would for sure be worth.
Yeah.
So we'd have to look at like which ones are likely to give us at least 1,000.
Yep.
And then be like, well, we can take 1 in Park 3 because that'll give us 800 or whatever, and that'll let us buy the chocolate or buy the net code. Not true, Lucky. This game's RNG is garbage, so some of them just always give you Zenny.
Yeah. and certain ones aren't trapped, like at all.
Yeah.
Like park area is not trapped. Town area is also definitely not
Park
trapped.
area has trapped GM. I think even town has traps.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the Zenny ones? Are they trapped?
No, the ones that I said, that one GMD in town and that one GMD in park are definitely never trapped. And I'm like 100% sure the park one is always Zenny, and like 99% sure the town one's always Zenny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 80% sure that one I mentioned in Netfrika is also always Zenny.
Yeah.
It's probably all listed on Prof's Pastebin, but it's something we could look into.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere better.
Wait, up next, we're gonna go to intermission.
Wait, time to watch Risch's recent BN5 PB.
But yeah,
There is no next, I'm gonna hide that, if I can remember where it is.
but yeah, I think the
We have a lot of sources. Hold on.
biggest improvements, as I said, just a little better RNG and a little better execution in fights, and then obviously, as we talked about, the Zenny things. Those are the biggest improvement areas for the current BN4 world record.
Yep.
So I think that wraps up everything that we wanted to talk about for today. So, Tara, is there anything else that you want to mention?
Nope, that's it. Thank you, Risch, for doing the run. Thank you, Erothaur and Chaotic, for helping out with commentary.
No problem.
We hope you all enjoyed watching this analysis of Risch's run. It's always fun to go back and look at these and just see like how good some parts were, and oh yeah, but this could have been so much better, and we always learn something new.
This is correct.
Yeah, like picking up GMDs.
So yeah, hopefully this inspires some people to pick up either this game or another one in the series. There's always room for improvement, so maybe your run could be next in this continuing series of world record analysis. We still have more to do. We may do another one next week. We'll see who's available, and that's pretty much it for this stream. I checked, I didn't see anyone playing Battle Network, so we'll just end it here, I think. Say goodbye, everyone, and then we'll figure out how to play some music with this audio setup.
I'll probably just end it, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Stop with
I'll
the
go
tilde.
book.
I recommend the live now if you want to watch more BN content. Alternatively, probably someone will be streaming Among Us if we play it.
Yeah, I will. I'm about to.
Cool.
Go follow twitch.tv/Risch and then subscribe to twitch.tv/xkilios. And we will see you in the next TeamBN stream with either another world record analysis or some other Battle Network content. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time.